January 7th, 2025. Austin, Texas. It was early evening, around 6:15 p.m., and the parking lot of a large corporate office WNS Global Services USA was packed with people. Day shift employees were heading home, while night shift workers were just arriving. Cars were moving in and out, people were chatting, some were on calls. Everything looked completely normal, but within minutes, this ordinary evening would turn into a horrifying crime scene. CCTV cameras installed in the parking lot captured something that, at first glance, almost looked like a street performance. A small crowd had gathered. Some people were standing still, others had their phones out recording, but this was no act. In the middle of that crowd stood a man in a white t-shirt, Kevin Turner, 30 years old. On T-ground in front of him was a woman wearing a black top, Samantha Cole, 28. She was screaming in pain, begging for help. Kevin had already stabbed her multiple times with a sharp cleaver. Blood was spreading across the pavement. And the most disturbing part, dozens of people were watching, recording, but no one was stepping forward. Samantha Cole had been working at the company for over 6 years. A business graduate, she held a stable position as a senior associate. Originally from a small town in Ohio, she had moved to Austin for better opportunities and was living alone in an apartment near downtown. Kevin Turner worked in the same company. He was a junior accountant when he first joined, and over time he became close to Samantha. They weren't in a relationship, but they were close friends. At least, that's what Kevin believed. A few months before the incident, Samantha approached Kevin in distress. She told him her father was seriously ill and needed urgent surgery. She said she didn't have enough money. Without hesitation, Kevin helped her. At first, it was a few $1,000s. Then more, and more. Every time Samantha asked, she had a reason: medical bills, emergency expenses, complications. Kevin trusted her completely. Over time, the total amount crossed $30,000. But Kevin had his own problems. He had a medical condition affecting one of his eyes, and he was scheduled for surgery in mid-2024. He needed money too, so he asked Samantha to return what she owed. She promised she would. Days pass, then weeks, then months. Nothing changed. Whenever Kevin brought up the money, Samantha had another excuse, and that's when everything shattered. Her father told him there was no illness, no surgery, nothing. Kevin realized he had been lied to, manipulated, used. That realization broke something inside him. On January 7th, Kevin decided to confront her one last time. He arrived at the office parking lot before her shift started. When Samantha walked in, she saw him approaching with a calm smile. She had no idea what was about to happen. Kevin asked for his money. This time, Samantha refused, flat out. That was the moment everything spiraled out of control. Kevin pulled out a cleaver he had brought with him and attacked. He struck her arm first. Samantha collapsed to the ground, screaming. She somehow managed to pull out her phone and call her father, but before she could speak properly, Kevin snatched the phone from her hand. He spoke into it himself. "Tell him to return my money." Then he dropped the weapon. And suddenly, the crowd moved. The same people who had been watching her stepped in. They overpowered Kevin, beat him, and held him until police arrived. But by then, it was too late. Samantha had lost too much blood. She was rushed to the hospital, but due to excessive bleeding in her underlying health condition, she suffered cardiac arrest during treatment. She didn't survive. Police arrested Kevin Turner at the scene. The case was officially registered as a violent assault leading to death, linked to a financial dispute. Authorities confirmed there was no romantic angle involved, only money. But the internet had already formed its own opinions. Some people justified Kevin's actions. Others condemned him completely. But beyond opinions, this case raised a deeper question. The bystanders. Dozens of people stood there, watching a woman being attacked in front of them, recording videos, waiting, hesitating. No one acted until the danger was gone. This is known as the bystander effect, when individuals are less likely to help in the presence of others. And in this case, it may have cost a life. In the end, this wasn't just a story about money. It was about trust, betrayal, emotional manipulation, and uncontrolled rage. One person lost her life. Another lost his freedom. And many others walked away with a question they may never answer. What if someone had stepped in sooner?